top 3 quarterback prospects for the 2024 NFL Draft. We're going to break them down real quick. We're going to try to see if we can't keep this within our 5-minute segment. Unless it's always a fun topic, so it might go a little bit over. But before we get started, tell us what you guys think. Is Shedeur Sanders going to declare for the 2024 NFL Draft, or is he going to go back to college for one more year? Tell us what you think and why you're down there. Again, don't be afraid to give us a like. Maybe hit the subscribe button. We're pretty fun. I like to think we're funny sometimes, and we do talk about some cool topics. Also, it really does help us out a lot, and we really appreciate it. So, yeah, tell us what you think. Shedeur Sanders, 2024 NFL Draft, or will he be the number 1 overall pick in 2025? But for right now, let's get right into this. Give me your top 3 quarterback prospects for the 2024 NFL Draft. Who do you think goes 1, 2, 3 there?
Yeah, and I think this is going to be kind of like an ever-changing thing, as it should, right? It's week, what is it? What are we in right now, college? Week 5? 4?
No, I guess technically because of the 0 week.
Yeah,
but for most teams, it's like week 3 or week 4.
We're almost to that midway point. A lot of stuff's going to change from here on out. A lot of stuff changes too postseason, right? When you get the combine and pro day process, a lot of stuff will change too. But as of right now, I have Caleb from USC at number 1. I have Sanders at number 2, and then I like Penix Jr. at number 3 out of Washington. I think they're having a strong, start to the season. I'm buying that Sanders stock right now. I know we have a rank list from the College Football Report Twitter account. They have Sanders listed at number 6 right now. I'm full on buying that stock. I think he has a fair arm in terms of arm and strength, but again, talking about what we talked about with Brock Purdy, I think his processing is great. I think he can move enough in the pocket and make things happen. And I think maybe it's just me, but I hold winning as a good factor too. Like, he just wins games, no matter if it was at the HBCU level, which he played great talent there too. Now, we talked about this earlier, but playing Oregon, USC here, they might get a reality check. But I still think he's going to come up with a strong game. I like him. And Penix Jr., this dude has been slept on. He was slept on last season. He's putting up Heisman numbers this season. I'm intrigued to see more of the details of his game. I watched a little bit of the QB school breakdown of him. He kind of has inconsistent footwork sometimes. Sometimes his accuracy is a little bit off. But he's putting up Heisman numbers right now with that Washington offense. It's tough to, argue with him as at least the 3rd best quarterback right now. Some people have him as like the 2nd best, as this College Football Report rankings has him as the 2nd best. And Caleb, in my own opinion, people have their own concerns about him, like, oh, he's holding on to the ball too much, blah blah blah. In my own opinion, watching him play, I think there's a pretty good gap between him and then number 2 and 3. I think he's up there for me. If I was a team needed a QB, if I was an NFL team needing a QB next year, I'm pushing hard for Caleb. I really like his game. I like what he can bring. Not putting that generational tag on him yet, but I love him as a player. He can process the field just fine. I think sometimes he holds on the ball to go big play hunting sometimes, which may be a bad habit, but I've watched enough breakdown of him where he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, ball's out. Sorry, I kind of rambled there, but you can go ahead and give me your feedback or your list.
You're good. I was kind of actually just admiring the what you point out, the top 25 list. We'll see if we can't get that edited up onto the screen for you guys. See if we can't find a way. If not, that's okay. You can just go to CFR Report, College Football Report. They have it right there. It's like I think one of their pinned tweets. I kind of admire it because it makes you feel good about our we did a draft profile for some of these guys in the off season, and we gave a disclaimer on those of like, hey, they still have another year to play. At least we want to see how they develop. Some of the deficiencies we had concerns about, maybe they improve upon. But it seems like so far we've kind of nailed them. The one I think we're a little off so far about is Sam Hartman, who we put as a 4th round grade. We thought he'd go to the 3rd, but he seemed like a Kirk Cousins kind of guy. If you give him an opportunity in the NFL, he's just going to light it up and never give up that starting position again. They currently have him ranked 3rd. Just a disclaimer on that video as well, we did mention it was really hard to grade him because the Wake Forest team was so fucking bad, and the competition. Not, I'm sorry, I misremembered.
The talent
They
level
were
was less
okay.
there. Yeah,
they were okay. The O line was special. Actually, we kind of were admiring the O line. He had always had clean pockets, but the talent they were playing was so fucking bad. It was like, is it that he's so good, or the talent or the defense is so fucking bad?
mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like the question might have been a little bit answered for us. Apparently, he was so fucking good. Jesus. And you said Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., and then Shedeur Sanders.
Flip 2 and 3. I have Caleb, Sanders, and then Penix Jr.
Okay. For me, Caleb one's number one. I have not watched a whole lot of film on him. I have not watched a whole lot of USC games. Some of the highlights I see kind of actually do concern me a little bit because he's passed up he's turned down, to use that term, some open guys to try to like force something bigger. And it was against schools like Nevada. And I'm not sure you could do that. I know you cannot do that in the NFL. Like, Patrick Mahomes was able to do it for the first year or two, and now he can't even do it anymore. Teams have figured out how to wrangle his ass in. So you just won't be able to do that. So that's the only concern I have about him, but I haven't watched a whole lot of the tape. He seems like he's got a special arm talent. Seems like a great dude. He seems like he's got that it factor. For me, it actually is kind of close with Michael Penix Jr. and him because I have been able to watch a decent amount of Michael Penix Jr., and he has to have the best deep ball in this entire draft. Everything he throws past 20 yards is just a freaking dot. It's exactly where it needs to be, 50 or plus percent of the time, which is an excellent number. That offense is scorching teams so far. Now, again, they haven't played any stiff competition, so take it with a grain of salt. But he has been lighting it up. He's always had an answer for everything the defense has tried to throw at him. I know there's concern about Boise State week one because the head coach for Boise was a former defensive coordinator for Oregon, so people thought that was going to stump him. It didn't. He is like lights out. It's the processing thing for me. I don't think he's got a whole lot of elite talent everywhere else. I think he's got a better arm than Purdy, but it's the processing ability that I really love to see. He's always seems to have an answer. I know you referenced the QB school to mention a little about his footwork or a couple things here and there, but that kind of stuff can get cleaned up so easy. And then for quarterback 3, this is tough. I'm not gonna put Shedeur Sanders in here, and only because I don't think he declares. He's been coached by his dad his whole life. I think it just takes the one last year to do it, so he could be number one in 2025. That's the only reason I don't put him number 3. It also allows us to have a little bit more of a discussion. So, I'm gonna go with the list. I'm sticking with the list. I like Sam Hartman 3. I mean, he's not doing anything special, and maybe it's just because he's been in college for 15 years. But this dude's cooking. He's got that Notre Dame team looking very formidable. Like they look like they can win the whole thing. Like I know people were talking about Michigan in the preseason, but with Notre Dame's run game, with the way he's orchestrating that offense, he's not doing anything flashy. He's just making the right throws at the right time. He's throwing with anticipation. He's doing the position as it's supposed to be done. And that to me translates really well to the NFL level. So for me, I think he's 3. I still don't think he gets drafted high because of his physical limitations. He's not going to blow you with a 40. He's going to run like a 4.8 40, maybe
right.
even a 5.
Yeah.
He's going to have a 22-inch vertical. Like your sister can probably outjump him right now. But he just makes the right. I'm sorry, I'm shitting on Sam Hartman's athletic ability. He's way more athletic than I probably am. The dude probably is fantastic. He's probably extremely athletic, but yeah, my point still being he's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not an Anthony Richardson kind of guy. He's not gonna wow you with that.
Yeah.
But he throws a great ball. He throws with great anticipation. He knows where he needs to be. He knows the holes in the defense. And for me, that puts him at 3 for me. Of course, if Shedeur Sanders was confidently coming out and saying he's declaring for the draft, I'd put him 3. Shedeur does everything Sam Hartman does with the athletic ability attached to it. He's a great runner. He makes sideline tight roping throws down the field. He's got that killer instinct where he came back against Colorado State. He has everything you're going to want. So, if he declared for this, number 3 easily. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't, He's going to be number 1 in 2025. To me, I think it makes more sense for him to do that. You get one more year to get coached with your dad. You get to play with Travis Hunter. You get to play with your brother again. You're already making a shit ton of money anyway. He's in commercials. He's driving a Mercedes or whatever. Yeah. But if he doesn't, I would probably put Sam Hartman as my 3.
I like it.
So,
and I kind of looked this through. You probably were going to take the conversation there, but being a Bears fan here, it looks as though we're trending on drafting a quarterback. If we're going to have a top 5 pick, whether it's the Bears' own pick or the Panthers' pick, so I'm trying to look at this through like a lens, right? Like which quarterbacks would I want the Bears taking right now within like the top 5? And that's why I kind of put Sanders in there, because I feel comfortable with Caleb and Sanders as top 5 picks, the way that they're playing right now. And again, we're almost at the midway point of the season, so things could change. But when you're thinking about spending a top 5 pick, I mean, that's heavy capital. I love Hartman too. He's up there for me. I just don't know if I can take, a Sam Hartman or a Michael Penix Jr. right now in the top 5. I feel like Hartman, I know we said he was a mid-round grade. He might be getting up to second or first round, like later on the first, maybe early second as of right now. I'll be comfortable taking him there, but I'll just try and work through like who's worth a top 5 pick right now. And I don't think there's a lot of hype around Drake May before the season started. People gave him that second quarterback spot before the season started. For me personally, he dropped a little bit. It looked like he dropped 2 on the College Football Report ranking. They have him as the 5th best quarterback right now, behind Caleb, Penix Jr., Sam Hartman, Jordan Travis was another interesting prospect there, and then Drake May. And I don't know, maybe you can give me your thoughts on this. I mean, if you were Ryan Poles, who would you? What quarterbacks would you think about taking with a top 5 pick if you were the Bears GM?
If I'm assuming we're not getting number 1 because that's the obvious answer, I'd take Caleb Williams. If it were me, I would take Michael Penix Jr. And maybe it's just my draft crush. Maybe that's just what it is. He's going to be my draft crush, and I'm really excited to get into looking at a lot of these guys because it seems like there's so much talent there. It's really exciting. I mean, you kind of look at this list. I mean, a guy that's really not getting talked about enough, Tyler Van Dyke, has been balling at the U. We got Spencer Rattler, who seems to have finally turned a corner. You have Quentin Ewers, who seems to have really matured and turned a corner. You still have Bo Nix, we haven't discussed, who we did a pre-draft video on, who we said might be an end of first-round pick. Could be, with a lot of potential. Jordan Travis is another guy that we really liked. I can't wait to get into his film after the season too. But no, if it were me, if I were the Bears, Michael Penix Jr. to me would be the safe pick. He's the guy that I think he's like a better Mac Jones. You know what you're getting. You know what he's going to be solid. He's going to be great. He's going to be processing really well. He's going to throw a great deep ball, which is kind of what you guys need with DJ Moore there and Mooney and everything else. So I'd use that first pick on that. My second first round pick, I'd get Romeo Oduze.
The guy from Washington. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I would immediately go draft him and pair them right back up. It's an electric combination in college. It'd be an electric combination in the NFL. I'd immediately go pair those 2 back up. Now, who do I think the Bears are going to draft? They're going to draft Drake May.
This was just like the safer pick. People were saying it doesn't piss me off. Yeah, last thing Bears team needs another UNC quarterback in there.
Yeah, they're going that's UNC pretty well.
I just don't. If they fall back, like if they trade back and take him, that's one thing. But top 5 pick for him is just right now. This seems like this is a reach. I'm talking about Drake May here. Penix Jr. with the number he puts up, I can see him being top 5. Just off numbers alone.
Especially if he takes the Heisman.
Especially if he takes a Heisman. I mean, it's tough to argue against that. And again, like my fascination with Sanders is, one, he's a legacy player, right? He's been around a high level football for his entire life. Just from a personality standpoint, though, I think he could fit that Chicago market well. Playing in that market is tough. Fans are crazy. There's high expectations. And he's been around that, right? His entire life, he's been, Deion's son, and he's been in that limelight. I think he can handle that pressure well. So it's a pretty interesting, talk. Is like, let's say the Bears do get a top 5 pick And do they also wait a season to ride out with Fields again if he can get up to average? Right now he's bad. If you can get up this mediocre quarterback play, do they wait potentially for a Sanders, or do they just roll the dice with a Drake May or a Penix Jr., assuming they don't get the number 1 pick and draft Caleb? So that's kind of my fascination with Sanders. I think he's a great player, but I think he'd be a great personality fit just for the overall market of
And you know what? Honestly, if it were me, I was Ryan Poles, I would draft 2 or 3 quarterbacks this draft. I would
just load it all fucking up.
Yeah, I mean seriously, like look at 2012 Washington team. You know, they took RG3 number 3, and then they cut Kirk Cousins in the 4th, and look what happened.
Yeah,
you know, I would, if it were me, and I'm just looking at this list, and I'm assuming this is hope these guys are still here. First round pick, I'm taking Michael Penix Jr. With my second one, I'm taking Romeo Oduze to pair him with, so they get that connection back. In my later 3rd or 4th round pick, I might take Dylan Gabriel out of Oklahoma, who's been putting up electric numbers and really isn't getting talked about at all. And then in my 5th round pick, if I had another one, I would really try to hope and see if Tyler Van Dyke is still there. If not, it is what it is. Maybe Spencer Rattler falls, or whatever it is. But I would try to I'd probably get 2, at the very least 2. If there's a 3rd one I still liked, I'd probably get 3, but at least 2. And again, to people watching going, wow, that's fucking ridiculous, dude. What are you talking about? That's so stupid. That's not how the NFL works. I mean, it's happened. And look at Brock Purdy. They didn't draft Brock Purdy thinking he was going to be the next great quarterback. They drafted him to be a 3rd string kind of guy, and it took off.
Yeah.
It's better to, especially when you look at the Bears situation and their history, it's better to insulate the position rather than to just take a lottery ticket. I'd rather have 2 guys there that I drafted and go, hey, if one doesn't work out, we got this other guy that we still, we felt confident enough to draft and see if he pans out. But at the very least, the Bears need average quarterback play right now. Because they haven't had that since, Jay Cutler, maybe? Mm-hmm. You at least need average quarterback play. And if you draft 2 guys, the chances of you getting that from one of them is significantly better than if you have to just bank on one.
Yeah.
So,
and I would be 100% in agreement with you, but taking 3 or 4 if the entire roster was not shit. Like, there's still proven to be lots of holes on that team. I'm down for 2 quarterbacks though. I like that strategy. I mean, I'll be happy if we could get a Penix Jr. or Drake May, I guess, in the 1st round, and then take, if Hartman's still there in the 2nd, take Hartman. I think that would be the safe play. And again, not for the Bears fans here. I'm not preying on Fields' downfall here. I hope he figures it out. I've been a Fields fan since 2019 for a long time. It's definitely my favorite player, but we just have to be honest. He's not playing well right now, and he's trending towards not being a quarterback of the future. So, again, this will be a revolving topic, I bet, as the season goes along, as, week by week, if someone has a bad game or whatnot. So, but yeah. That's kind of our thoughts there.
Yeah, like I said, and it just seems like I will wrap it up because we're getting to a lengthy segment here. To me, it just makes the most sense. That way, because you're not going to bring in a veteran guy that's going to compete for the starting job. It's not a fair competition. You're not actually evaluating the position. Bring in 2 guys, 2 rookies that you don't have a history with, that you obviously drafted, so you must feel confident in them, and let them battle. Let them go to town. Let them see who is actually fucking better. That way, when you're putting a guy out there, you're getting the best quarterback and not a guy you have to play because you drafted him high.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think whatever quarterback you take first, depending, get their star quarterback, get their star receiver. Like if Sanders does declare and Hunter declares, draft them both. 5 and 9, whatever your selections are. If you get Caleb Williams, I don't know who USC's top receiver is right now. But hey, minute you draft him, get him on the phone. Hey, dude, who do you want in this draft? Again, it's if they're drafting number 1. At that point, you probably have a lot of time you can talk to him and just say, hey, we're taking you number 1. Tell us what we want, because who you want as receiver, because we have number 2 and we want to pair you with the guy that you want. Tell us. And that's what they did with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Said, hey, who do you want us to draft for receiver? And they're like, I'm like, give me Jamar. All right, cool. Here's Jamar.
Yeah.
It worked out well for them.
Yeah, it did. They're putting up record numbers too. So I like that strategy. Again, I'm intrigued to see how this whole thing plays out. There's a lot of different factors here. Fields play being the number one factor. If he can right the ship, then it's whatever. But if he kind of is trending downward like how he is right now, I'm intrigued to see how Ryan Poles and the staff kind of evaluates this QB class and see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to watch this QB class. I can't wait for us to get to the off season. We get to review their tape. We're going to try to do the all 22 of them and get a real good feel for them. It looks like, just on paper, it looks like such a solid QB draft. A lot of guys are making the right moves. A lot of guys are turning things around. Like Quentin Ewers, I was concerned about. Spencer Rattler, I was concerned about. And they both seem to have flipped the page. So it's going to be a really, really exciting draft. And I'm kind of curious to see which guys actually declare for the draft and which ones don't. Because it's going to be so stacked. There's going to be some guys that are going to be like, fuck it, let me just go back to college for one more year so I can get a better draft grade. But that will wrap up that segment. Again, why don't you guys go in the comment section, tell us who your top 3 quarterbacks are. Let us know. While you're down there, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It helps us out a lot. It lets us do what we love to do here at the RFL show. Helps keep our takes rational. And thank you for joining us. This has been week 20 for us. Again, I cannot believe it's already been 20 weeks that we've been doing this. But until next time, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and I think that's it, YouTube. But it's been Emmett. It's been my co-host B. We'll see you guys later.